Welcome to the world's first straight talk Solarcast. This is your go-to podcast for answers about solar. Brought to you by Solar Harmonics in Northern California, who invite their customers to own their energy by purchasing a solar panel system for their home, business, or farm. Each episode, we discuss questions facing people making the decision to go solar. The solutions to your questions are given to you straight by one of the leading experts in the solar industry, Jamie Duran, president of Solar Harmonics. Feel free to search our library for answers to questions that you're facing when considering solar. And now, here's Adam Duran, our host with the questions, and Jamie Duran, our solar expert with Straight Talk Solarcast.
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Adam.
How's everything in the land of solar this week?
Well, nothing compared to what you're dealing with this week. So it's good. It's October 3rd, and it's going to be 100 degrees in Northern California for the next 4 or 5 days. So this will be the longest heat spell of the year in October.
That makes no sense, but okay.
Yeah, and with computer issues, and you're only down to one monitor, which I don't know how you can even get out of bed in the morning. So,
It's a tough push today. 102.
Yes.
Today.
I can feel it because our phones are ringing a lot, and that's really great for us. And even customers in areas where they don't have electricity prices, like Modesto Irrigation District, are coming out and now making plans to go solar. So. And it's pretty amazing because their rates are about half, if not 1/3 of PG&E rates. And they're saying, oh my God, $800 electricity bill in Modesto and their Modesto Irrigation District. So kind of crazy. And because it is Halloween and I started a little early last week with a solar horror story, I thought I'd start with one more. Another one where a client, 4 years ago answered the door, and the door knocker knocked on the door, and it's really similar to the last one in that basically the solar's been installed and there's no final inspection and no PG&E interconnection, but he gets a monthly lease bill for the next 25 years, and it's gone up 3% every year, and it's so he's paying for the solar but getting no benefit of the solar other than, I guess the attractiveness of solar on his flat roof. And because it is a flat roof, most solar companies, you really have to be careful of how it's being installed, because if it's flat, water looks for a way to get out. And so if there's any pooling whatsoever, sooner or later a leak will develop and it will start leaking. So now he is dealing with a roof leak, and it's pretty painful. And on top of that, he leads a service panel upgrade, which he has no money for. So he can barely make the loan payment, barely pay, or lease payment, barely pay his PG&E bill.
The solar's not turned on.
Solar's not turned on.
Because they still need to get some final approval from the city or PG&E?
Yep. From the city and then PG&E approval. The issue is that solar company was out of Texas and they are no longer in business. And this is in California.
No.
And so that's what I mean. It's just, I don't really, and finally someone did call him back who used to work at that company and said, yeah, they're long gone and good luck. So, it's pretty brutal, and really feel bad because he can't, anything that we could help him, we can't do it for free. It would be nice, but we have to do everything that we would do it in an installation, except for the actual installation. And that's going to mean it's even going to be more, because I think we're going to have to remove all the panels, redo the roof attachments, bring in a roofer, maybe, all the stuff that solar companies should know in the beginning of what they're doing. But it's really sad when we hear about these kind of issues. So spooky, scary Halloween,
spooky, scary.
Well, it will be great when I do my adult haunted house for little kids, and it's the solar room, PG&E and solar and leases,
There's your
but
battery on the wall.
but I do have some exciting good news for you, Adam.
Okay.
Okay, so one program that is relatively new, it's called the Net Billing Tariff, and it's in all of the California, or most of them. So PG&E, Southern California, Edison, and San Diego gets gas and electric. And what it is a program if you have a battery and you can discharge during the peak time, they will actually pay you um, a pretty good rate for that excess power.
Mm.
So uh, now there's lots of hoops to jump through, lots of ways to try and get that money, but it is getting possible. And so one really nice thing is that our clients with a Tesla Powerwall 3, the Powerwall is starting to use artificial intelligence through the software, and it will detect if your battery has power that it can send back to PG&E during the peak times. And if it does, in September, these rates, I was mentioning, $800 electricity bill. These rates can go, and I will say normally right now, PG&E is about 60 cents a kilowatt hour during these
Mhm.
peak times. And if you send power back through the grid, through that was stored in the Powerwall, it can go to $3.47 a kilowatt hour.
Mm.
So what's more, 60 cents or $3.47?
Option 2, please.
You are correct.
Hey.
And that's pretty amazing because, if you decided, hey, I'm going to export all of the power in my Powerwall and just have solar power powering the house during that time, because it's, the peak time is 4 to 7, 4 to 8 p.m., and you're just going to discharge all of your power, you can make up like $1,000 in a month. Isn't that great news?
That is amazing.
That's crazy, and so it's really an interesting program. PG&E definitely needs power, and there's all these batteries out there with power in them, and the rewards rate changes all throughout the year. So in January at midnight, if you're sending power back, it's like 5 cents, but in September it can go, like I said, $3.47 is a huge swing. How they receive this is it through their? I don't know yet because we're still investigating. And for someone who has NEM 3.0 and the Powerwall, so if you're an NEM 2.0 and you want to get in on this program, you're leaving the NEM 2.0 program, and
Oh.
now you're in the 3.0. So excess power will no longer be rewarded at the retail rates, but they'll be rewarded at about 7 cents a kilowatt hour. But then you're now eligible for this net billing tariff program. And like I said, the Powerwall the settings that you can do, it will adjust for that time and send power and kind of maximize your earnings based on the time of the year and so forth. So it's pretty interesting. We're still getting into it, but it's a pretty fascinating program that I thought I would never see, because I can't imagine PG&E actually paying someone for their power. But it is PG&E needs power, and you have power sitting in your battery, just in case there's a power outage. Potentially, you can be part of the solution and help someone else not max out their bill. But if they don't have solar and Powerwall, they're going to be paying 60 cents a kilowatt hour. Or even, we saw one in Southern California during the peak time, the rates are now 70 cents a kilowatt hour. So that's
Oh.
it's mind-blowing. It's just even crazy. So solar is still, we've always said, oh my gosh, what's going to happen with net energy metering 3.0 and net NEM 2.0 and everything. Well, PG&E is compensating by just raising rates on everything. So as we've always said, carrot is reducing and stick is increasing. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting program, and solar is bigger than ever. And all of these days of over 100 degrees, I'm getting calls from people who, my bill was always $300 and now it's $800 for the last 3 months. not just 1 month at a time, but is this what we can look forward to? And I was like, probably more, because there's more increases planned for next year. So,
Mr.
ouch.
Spooky. Thank you.
Extra. Well, I mean, but good news, because now if you do go solar with a power wall, and if you can do 5 power walls, really, so that $1,000 during the peak month can be up to $5,000 with 5
And
power walls. So
do you know anything more about this program? Like how you can apply for it, how many people are approved, can get it? In the past, I think these kind of programs have kind of come and gone, or right when they're announced, they're full. Or
no, these are available. So if you're in PG&E territory, you just call up the PG&E rep and select the E-ELEC, so the electric rate plan. That's for homes that use a lot of electricity, and that's every home pretty much. So E-ELEC-NEM3. And so if you're in the NEM 2.0, think carefully, because you're going to be giving away a bunch of credit on your excess power. But most people are not in the excess power range anymore, so they have a pretty big true up.
Right.
And so if you are thinking about expanding, great time to expand. There's just way more decisions than there ever were about going solar, and really, do your homework on it. But it's just we get asked by clients all the time, do we install anything but the Powerwall? And we do, but it's the amount of innovation that we're seeing, and its ease to install, and being able to control how the power is used on the home and through the grid and with the battery. They've just done a really wonderful job of making that pretty easy for the client. And lots of people, no way, no how. I can't stand that guy. I can't stand the company. But it's a good product. I have to say, it's a good product.
There you go.
And on the solar side, I did read an article. I couldn't find it before the podcast, but it did say that Tesla is leaving the solar installation business. So that's kind of not their strong suit, is the install side. But on the equipment side, I can't complain about any of this. So pretty interesting. Always interesting.
Okay.
So, some scary news and some good news for you.
Hey, there you go. Trick or treat.
Yep.
Great. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for spending a few moments out of your week learning a little bit more about solar. Jamie's been doing this podcast for years and years and years, so he has addressed every topic regarding solar under the sun. So if you want to check out a library of our past episodes, go to solarharmonics.com, click on the podcast link at the top of the page, and you'll be taken to that searchable library. If you have a friend considering going solar, this would be an excellent podcast to recommend to them, because they get straight facts from an unbiased source, which in this day and age, that is very tough to find. So make sure to refer this podcast to them, and make sure to give us a 5-star review wherever you got this podcast, because we'd love to read those. Until next time, everyone. See you.
That's all for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Straight Talk Solarcast with solar expert Jamie Duran. Join us each week for more answers to your solar questions. Speaking of questions, got some? Email us at solarcast@solarharmonics.com, and we'll be sure to give you an answer in an upcoming episode. This episode of Straight Talk Solarcast is brought to you by Solar Harmonics, the leading solar energy developer in Northern California, who invite you to own your energy. Visit them on the web at www.solarharmonics.com.